Lord, I pray for a boy man down in Vietnam. Will you please forgive me for my sins?
Secretary McNamara, line over.
My fellow Americans.
President, we just had word by telephone from Admiral Sharp that the destroyer is under torpedo attack.
It is my duty to the American people.
Now, where are these torpedoes coming from? Well, we don't know. Presumably from these unidentified craft that I mentioned to you a moment ago.
Today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply. The initial attack on the destroyer Maddox on the Gulf of Tonkin.
And the Congress was with me before that resolution went up. Every single man in that room recommended it and advocated it. Casualties started coming in. Why, there's certain folks started looking for the cellar.
But in the end, it was just one more plan that didn't work.
The war was probably fought for all the wrong reasons to start with, so there's no justification for it.
When I got back to the United States and I found out that I really wasn't welcome in society.
If we're going to fight a war, by God, fight it.
We were just told us, rip up your pictures, you're going to die here.
Someone comes to the door with a telegram, or did back then, and your life was destroyed.
Scared that someday he's going to get killed.
My brother died believing, though, that he was keeping us safe, that he was, protecting us. And the men that served over there, they believed the same thing.
Nobody talks, so you start thinking.
Everybody else was 17 and 18 years old.
You can't send anybody into combat, and I don't care what they tell you. You get PTSD.
Danger, fear.
Thank you. Let me shake your hand, appreciate it, and walk off. Actually give a damn about them, because obviously they gave a damn about us.
It took me several years to be able to even approach the wall. I would sit in the trees on a bench up above the wall, and I could look at it at a distance. But the reality of those names were very hard for me to finally face. And when I did, I was frozen in my tracks for a long time, with the tears streaming down my face. Because by then I knew every name. I knew their mother and father. I knew what their dreams were. That's the burden of memory.
It's been 50 years since the first major battle between U.S. forces and the North Vietnamese, the Battle of Ia Drang Valley. Over the next 10 years or so, there were many battles, nearly 60,000 American lives lost, their names etched forever on the Vietnam Memorial Wall here in Washington, D.C. To say it was an unpopular war is an understatement. KWTX produced this special report to allow Vietnam veterans a chance to set the record straight, to tell in their own words the stories of the great sacrifices of the American soldiers. We can't forget Vietnam. What you're about to see and hear is our way of making sure we don't.
I've heard several names for this war. What do you call this war?
This war? I call it hell.
There seems little doubt now that U.S. forces in Vietnam will be fighting as independent combat units.
I call it a clusterfuck. I thought it was a mess.
The Nam. That's all you have to call it. Anyone that was ever there, all you have to say was the Nam. You're all brothers, anybody that was there.
You went out daily in what we called hunter-killer teams or pink teams, whatever you wanted to call them.
The loach would go down and fly over the area that he was going to look at and keep his speed up till he got confident, and then he would go lower and slower, and finally they'd end up hovering over the trees. Those guys were crazy, just slap crazy.
And we partied hard at night, and then we flew 16 hours a day.